All right, now I want to speak a little bit just in a general context about the state of the truth movement, because we're in a place right now that is pretty unstable. The mainstream media is running this Bundy Ranch psychological operation that a lot of people either take at face value as if all of a sudden we can trust the mainstream. All of a sudden Fox News is telling us the truth, and Sean Hannity is a good guy. Sean Hannity is a great American. I heard Alex Jones say that today. You've heard Sean Hannity. Great American this, great American that. You're a great American. You're a great, 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 great American. Alex Jones today said Sean Hannity is a great American, as if he is not a part of the Republican deception, the Republican Democrat false paradigm. And so we have a situation here where, and again, this is difficult to explain, and it's why I did an entire broadcast on compartmentalization. People are stuck in this false paradigm of either it's real or it's fake. And that's not the situation. It can be real and fake. It can be real and staged. It can be real and scripted. Do you understand? If you watch the broadcast that I did on this, which is posted to the network, Bundy Ranch Riot, PSYOP, # American Spring Exposed, because that's what this is about. I tried warning people ahead of Occupy. Well, not ahead of it, but right when it started. Honestly, I was in New York ahead of it. And when I got home and I saw what was going on with Occupy, that's when I realized that it was all a PSYOP. And I started warning people. I'm telling you now, ahead of the American Spring. That's what the Bundy Ranch situation is about. That's why they're going to drag it out. It is the designated flashpoint for the American Spring. I don't quite understand how I can make people understand this, but I'm going to try to. So let's actually go on screen right now, and because I haven't done this yet, let's Google the American Spring. I'll show you right here. We'll even hash American Spring. And what do we get? Well, there's a Twitter. Let's put this all in a new window. We have a Twitter for American Spring. Taking a while to load. And let's see what the deal is. Enlarging the text. And for those listening on radio, and there's probably not a lot at this point, because we just rebuilt the network, the radio's been down. You can catch the broadcast in video on truthbroadcastnetwork.com. So, looking at the American Spring Twitter account, and I'm just learning how to use Twitter myself. Last post, the American Spring Daily is out. What is this? So, oh, and look at that. OWS Times. What is OWS? Occupy Wall Street. So you see here that the American Spring and Occupy Wall Street are attached at the hip. You understand that, right? There's certain very simple things that you can connect here. I mean, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist connecting disparate things together. I'm telling you point blank. All right, let's enlarge in this text. The American Spring Daily. I don't know that this has its own website. It says paper dot something. Okay, here we go. www.americanspring2011.com. From the middle of the U.S. heartland, this daily e-paper contains some of the top stories of the day from the Congo to Camdenton, Montana. Follow #American Spring on Twitter. Very, very professional looking website. You know, I've got to deal with designing websites, and I can tell you this is very professionally done. So they've got a website set up for the American Spring. They've got it hooked up to Twitter. And here's how this is going to go. Basically, the best thing I can do is just tell you what they're going to do before they do it. So that when they start doing it, you're like, oh my God, that's exactly what he said was going to happen. And so what he said was going to happen after that's probably going to happen too. And so maybe I should pull my support and start warning people. That's, as I see it, the best thing that I can do. We know that, and this happened since the last broadcast I did on this topic, Harry Reid came out and has declared that the supporters of the Bundy Ranch supporters are terrorists. If you support the Bundy Ranch quote-unquote confrontation, and I'm not saying that's what he said, I'm saying I'm going to connect these dots. That was a confrontation. If you supported that confrontation, you are a domestic terrorist. That came out of Harry Reid's mouth. After I told you their entire plan here was to paint you as a terrorist using this incident, he came out and said you're a terrorist. Now they've come out and said that if a child is confrontational, well, he's a potential terrorist because they had a confrontation at the Bundy Ranch and they're terrorists. So the agenda is moving forward. It is 100% scripted. We watched Occupy roll out and we saw how they did it. I saw how they did it. And they made heavy use of live stream, which we do on Truth Broadcast Network. They made heavy use of live stream. And I watched that roll out through Seattle. I think it was San Francisco. They rolled it out like a military operation from city to city to city. And they would have the live stream in one city playing video from the live stream in other cities. All of the chats were constantly monitored by government operatives. And if you ever went in there and said, hey, this is an engineered revolution, you need to watch the revolution business, you were blocked and all your comments were instantly deleted. That's what Occupy did. Now, that doesn't mean there were not a lot of legitimate people who became a part of Occupy, and I hate to say it, but there's a word for them, and it's called useful idiots. Most of the people recognized it was controlled. They were using the Delphi technique, mic check technique, and this is how they blocked opposition. And I mean, it's a lose-lose situation. Most people just walked away, and then they had full control over the people that stayed. And maybe these people were lonely, you know, didn't have any friends, just wanted to be a part of something, but they were all being played like a fiddle. And it came down to showing numbers. And the big picture here is they are trying to stage the overthrow of the government in order that they can get rid of the Constitution. Okay? They're trying to have what's called a con-con, a constitutional convention, and that requires the support of a certain number of states. And they've been working on that for decades in order that they can change the Constitution. In other words, the states have to say, yeah, sure, we'll change the Constitution. Let's get together and talk about that. That hasn't been working out because enough people are suspicious and saying, you know what, I bet they're trying to do this because they're trying to get rid of the Second Amendment. Screw them, we're not going to agree to it. So they move on to the engineered revolution. In other words, they don't have to overthrow the government. They just have to make you think they overthrew the government. This isn't about what, I say this constantly, it's not about what happens on the ground. It's not about what actually happened on the ground. It's about what they can make you think happened. You understand? It's not about what actually happened at Sandy Hook. It's about what they can make you think happened. They're not trying to accomplish something based on events that unfolded. They're just doing whatever the fuck they want to do and trying to get you to accept it. That means all they have to do is make you think something, make you think things are a certain way, such that you'll let them get away with what they want to do because, oh, well, Sandy Hook. Oh, well, Boston bombing. You see? So they don't have to actually overthrow the government. They just have to stage it, fake it, make it look like it happened. Make you think it happened. They have to project that deception to you, that the government was overthrown. And then when they say the Constitution was rewritten, there's a new Constitution now. You'll say, new Constitution? Well, yeah, I guess that's what they do. When they have a new government, they have a new Constitution. And of course the talking heads will be on TV, oh, well, the new Constitution's really not that much different than the old one. And they'll, make you like it. They'll make you accept it. Maybe they'll make marijuana legal in every state, federally. And everybody will say, yay, marijuana's legal, but you can't have a gun. This is what they're doing in the Middle East, all across the Middle East. These alleged revolutions are engineered by the New World Order in order to stage the overthrow of the government so they can put in their own puppets and control those governments, those people, and those resources. And now they're working on doing it here. We saw that start with Occupy. I don't know that they failed. I've always thought that was a test run. And now they know, how effective they were at the different things that they tried. You might say Occupy was a left-wing engineered revolution, and now they're going for a right-wing engineered revolution. But anyway, the way this one's going to go is it's going to be more militant. So where they're saying that the Bundy Ranch supporters are terrorists, are domestic terrorists, they're basically drawing a line in the sand, throwing down the gauntlet and saying, if you are a gun owner, if you want freedom, you are a terrorist. And then you're going to get a lot of people in the alternative media playing this up because they're trying to get you to engage. Imagine if there was no television, if television was never invented, okay? I'm trying to explain something that's really important and a lot of people don't realize or think about. If there was no mass media, if when the Sandy Hook shooting happened or Columbine, you never heard of it. It didn't affect you. Okay? Then every time the police wanted to go into a home and violate someone's rights, to that family, it's the first time it's ever happened, and it's a horrible thing that's not to be tolerated. You see? Remember in Watertown, everybody just came out of their homes with their hands on their heads as if they were wanted criminals. Why did they do that? I mean, it's sickening to think about, and this is the 1-year anniversary for the most part. They had the Boston Marathon today. It's sickening to think about, but these people came out of their homes with their hands on their heads, and they did so because they had been deceived into believing there were terrorists in their midst.